I'm Jeremy Haskell with jobsandme.com. I'm here at the 16th Annual HR Convention at the Samoset Inn and Resort in Rockland, Maine. I'm joined today by keynote speaker Ryan Estis, who's the CEO of Ryan Estis and Associates from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Ryan is speaking today on Generation Next. So Ryan, what's the key takeaway for Generation Next?
I think one of the key takeaways is that this has been a pretty interesting and transformative time for the human resources profession, and the business of managing human capital is going to look pretty different as we emerge out of this recession into the next growth cycle. And one of the challenges that I think is inherent to the practice of people is that it's a time where four generations are intersecting in the workplace with different ideas, attitudes, expectations, and values around what work means. And I think those challenges exist certainly anytime a new generation comes of age. And this next generation, the millennials or Generation Y, has pretty different ideas with respect to the workplace experience, their expectations, and work style design. And unlike my generation, Xers, this generation's about twice the size. And so as they enter the workplace, and they're the fastest growing segment of the workforce, organizations are going to be challenged to understand and adjust to these new norms. And I think certainly technology and the transformation and introduction of new methods for communicating, connecting, and collaborating are a big part of that, and the human resources industry is at the inflection point of all of that kind of transformation and change. So that's what I'll be talking about, and we'll build some key takeaways around what to do specific to that agenda.
Certainly, I understand what you're saying, and it makes a lot of sense. With Jobs and ME, we work a lot with technology, obviously, being an internet job board. We've recently incorporated things like social media, such as our Facebook or Twitter pages. We do a YouTube channel. What do you think is the biggest challenge as it evolves around technology, as these workforce generations intersect?
Well, I think part of the biggest challenge is giving up control. So you have traditional leadership who wanted to control the brand, control communication, and kind of understanding that it isn't about control anymore, it's about participation, trust, and influence. And so that shift is challenging. And how do you architect policy and manage this in a way that still supports and is productive for the business objective? So organizations are struggling to get their arms around this, and you've got kind of one traditional school of thought that says, we're going to ban and restrict access, and then a more progressive school of thought that says, hey, actually, we're going to open it up, we're going to train our people, and we're going to use this kind of collaborative, disruptive technology to accelerate an advantage. And I think HR, again, is kind of in the intersection of figuring all of that out, which is pretty exciting.
Absolutely, and it makes a lot of sense. Now, you mentioned the struggle that we're all facing as we go working through this economy. What are some things that perhaps the millennials or Generation Y can do to help?
Yeah, I think Generation Y brings great ideas and transformative thinking to the table. So this is a generation that's plugged in. They're very adept. They're global. They're social. They're diverse. And I think it's a great opportunity for the baby boomers and Xers to kind of sit back and do some knowledge transfer. Certainly, we've got a lot of institutional intellectual capital that we can impart to millennials, but I also think there's a lot that they can bring to the table and teach us. And I think that's a really positive opportunity for organizations that embrace it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Ryan, thanks for joining us. Looking forward to your speech.
I look forward to it. Thanks.
Thank you.